The situation currently taking place in Myanmar is abominable. There's no safety anywhere, and the world has all but turned its back on an entire people trying to claim their freedom and insist upon their human rights in the face of blatant evil and inhumanity. International media seems to have moved on to the next story, scarcely reporting on this one anymore, even as the horror continues. We at Insight Myanmar Podcast find this intolerable, and we stand by the Burmese people and their courageous effort to live in dignity. This platform is dedicated to making sure that we keep the conversation going while ensuring these voices continue to be heard. Today's guest is one of those, and I invite you to settle in and open to what follows.
No act of giving, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Money can be reclaimed, lives cannot.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Insight Myanmar Podcast, and today I have Nyein with me as a guest for today's podcast. Nyein, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you very much for being here with us.
Yeah, I'll be happy to share my experiences.
All right, so I guess we'll just start from the very beginning, go back to from the very beginning. And you're obviously, you have built an impressive portfolio in the photojournalism field. And your works have been exhibited at many galleries and magazines. But I know that it was an easy journey to get there, right?
Yeah.
And Burmese kid with, Burmese parents, I was told to either get into an engineering or medicine field, or I will survive in this world.
Yeah, it's the same.
Right. And these cultural and the environment pressures can really make us scared of pursuing what we love. So I'm really curious, what inspired you to choose photojournalism as your career?
I usually do what I want. So, and my parents know about it. So then after I finished my university, I attended a photo festival. They call Yangon Photo Festival. So at that time, I had a various different type of photography, and including photojournalism. And they show me a lot of photos, a lot of photojournalism photos, like conflict, war, street, and so many photos. And then at that time, I understand is that that kind of photos can be set or do any other thing, and only had a chance to take photos when the news or the conflict is happening. So that kind of excites me. 2015, I think, and then after that, I started walking around downtown in Yangon with a camera. I started shooting started shooting street photos, and I usually upload my photos in Instagram. And then at that time, the Myanmar Times photo department, the photographer from the Myanmar Times, he saw me some of my photos, my Instagram, and he sent me an email like, "Do you want an internship in Myanmar Times?" And I was really lucky, and that's how I walked into the photojournalism field.
Got it. And were your families or your parents or your surrounding, your relatives, how do they react to that?
Actually, after I finished my university, they kind of do the home business. But I moved to Yangon and started my own way, and they kind of know about it because after I matriculation exam, they want me to attend like medicine and engineering, but I don't. I wanted to attend art university. So the same thing like that. After I finished my university, I started to do what I want. So after I tell them that I'm going to intern at Myanmar Times, and they kind of worry about me, and they don't know about the media and photojournalism career that I mentioned. I mentioned to my dad, and he doesn't really know what the job I have to do it. So then I have to explain everything, and trying to make things work for my family and me. Yeah, but in the end, I win. So yeah.
Got it. And you mentioned that you had to explain your parents what photojournalism is, and obviously there's a definition for photojournalism, but I want to know your personal definition or personal belief of what photojournalism is.
Yeah, I think like what photojournalism means is that we have to take some photos that can be happen another time, like when you're covering the conflict or the press conference, you have to take photos at that time, and even if it's late, like only 10 second or a minute late, a strong photos can be happen again. So that's kind of my describe of the photojournalism. Yeah.
Right. And of course, you have been you mentioned that you have been in Myanmar time, and I also know that you have also been in many different professions in the photojournalism field. So do you want to take us through them really quickly?
Yeah. First, like I told you before, I started an internship in Myanmar Times, and in Myanmar Times, I usually take, it's like in Myanmar Times they had a lot of different sectors of news. So mostly at the time as I'm a junior, photojournalism. So they want me to take care of the news. The social, event things. I have to attend a lot of events, and then I have to take photos of the event and the celebrities that came, and that kind of thing. And then after working in Myanmar Times for like three months, I one of my friends in Frontier Myanmar, she told me I should apply a job because she's going to leave Frontier. So then I apply, for the journalist job position in Frontier Myanmar, and after a few interviews, I got it. So in the Frontier Myanmar, I usually cover news, feature story, like in there they have a really great feature story sector, and because a lot of I have to work and collaborate with a journalist. So, and I take a lot of photos about the lifestyle stories, news, and political, and some kind of like that. And I and I'm also interested in writing. So I self-studied feature writing, and the editors and most of my colleagues teach me, the method of how to write a proper article. So I try and I read a lot of news article in Frontier, and I told my editor that I want to do photo story, like I want to write, and I want to take photos. And then he told me that okay, do it. So that's how I started writing a lot of photo stories in Frontier Myanmar, and that's great because I can do what I want. So I did it, and I'm also interested in extreme sport photography, because I had a really long time photo story about BMX in Myanmar. So I took that photo story like almost 5 years. I spent with them. I spent time with them, and whenever they practice BMX, and I do it. So I'm interested in sport photography too. So, and then not only BMX, I also interested in football and other um, rugby and hockey. A lot of I try to take um, different types of sport in Myanmar. And then I think at 2018, I think. So I applied a young sport photographer position in Olympics, and I got it. I got at the time, and I was really happy. And I trying to pursue my sport photography. And on the other hand, I told Frontier Myanmar that I got picked from the Olympic Games to be as an Olympic photographer. So they give me, because I have to travel to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and take cover of the Olympics. So they give me leaves, and they're really supportive. So yeah, and after that, after sport photography, I attend a photography school, a 1 year photography school in Myanmar Data, and they have a contemporary photo classes and documentary photo classes. They invite a lot of famous photographer from foreign, like Seven Photo Academy from Philip and Daniel, and other, Catherine Gonin, and other art professor in New York. So, and I also study contemporary, and because my background is art, so I'm kind of interested in a lot of things that will combine with my art sense and the photography. So contemporary things, I got it, in contemporary, it is really really different with the photojournalist, and in photojournalism it is like really news, and in contemporary it's all about art and your personal emotions, and yeah, kind of like that. So I study, and I made a 1 year uh, project with art professor in New York. And yeah, after that I had an exhibition. Yeah, that was great. And then the coup happened, and yeah. the COVID and the coup happened, and I still take photos of the photojournalism, and in my spare time, I usually develop my personal story, like which is really dark and contemporary things. So yeah, it's kind of my journey. I try to explore a lot of a lot of photography field, not only photojournalism but also other fields. So, yeah.
That's really nice. And from what you have shared, you have been in a lot of different places, and you have a lot of, different experiences in the photojournalism field and just the journalism field in general. So I kind of want to touch on this topic of discrimination, especially gender discrimination, in the journalism world in Myanmar. So I was going through the materials that you sent, and your interview with like the Vice Media. You mentioned that, and I quote, the Ministry of Information sent a notice to publication encouraging women or staff to, dress professionally. And growing up in Myanmar society, I was really disappointed by how gender roles would determine, how much respect you'll receive in whatever industry you are in, whether it be medical or engineering. Even at the top areas, you're still treated less when you're a woman compared to a man. So my question is, what challenges did you face, in pursuit of this goal, this photojournalism career, that perhaps other male colleagues that didn't face in this industry?
I think it's kind of good and a bad and a bad challenges. When that country thinks highly about men, and and mostly what is really disturbed me the most is the gender discrimination. Like most of the people think that I can't do my job probably, or I don't know what I'm doing, and then they started they started judge what I wear, or what my body looks like, and and a lot of things when they see me um, you know and and they see me like a lot of you know I mean they judge a lot. And other things that I'm taking photography for fun. So that's kind of what they're thinking, like that is kind of like I get some kind of benefit from from that kind of thinking, because they don't pay any attention to me, and I kind of take photos in prohibit area, or and then when they told me, I smile at them. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I'm just messing around, and so when it comes to that, it's kind of mixed. Yeah.
Right. And I guess what's really interesting to me is that it's really ironic because, when we look at Myanmar, like majority of the people, they believe that, Aung San Suu Kyi is their rightful leader, and they really put trust in Aung San Suu Kyi, who is a woman just like you. But then, of course, gender discrimination is everywhere. But I think it's a little more than, I guess we can say it's a little extreme in Burma. So why do you think that people put their trust in Aung San Suu Kyi, who's just a woman like you, but in Burma we still have like a lot of cases where women are extremely discriminated against?
Yeah, and about that, Aung San Suu Kyi, got a lot of. I mean, she proved a lot of things to Myanmar, and 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 but when it comes to like like girls and women near them, they don't really see like that, because like sometimes they didn't even have a chance to give us to prove it, that we can do it. So yeah.
So, what do you think the root of that problem is? The root of, not giving girls even a chance to prove themselves?
Um, Honestly, I don't really know, because maybe they have a really great expectation, when it comes to their children, you know, like especially women, when they want to become, like me, like a journalist or the photojournalist, and most of the people in Myanmar didn't know about, what they saw pictures or, in the newspaper that, they call photojournalist, and some people didn't know that, So I don't know. I don't know how to ask that question.
Right. I think you
Yeah,
have, I think you have touched on like the expectation part of,
yeah,
how my parents, or I guess we can call it Asian parents, how they want their children to be perfect in what they do.
yeah,
So they
yeah,
have like this high expectations.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Kind of like that.
right. And do you feel like you were fighting these discriminations when you were pursuing this journalism goal?
Sometimes, not. Um, like I told you before, it's kind of mixed. Sometimes it's good that being a girl photojournalist, sometimes it's kind of bad. Like people always look down, or what you wear, and what you are doing. It's kind of like it's kind of bold, sometimes, but in sometimes we don't really care about it. So yeah, but now, mm, I think after 2000, after 2000, 2000, after 2020, like, people from a lot of media company and the international organization, they're trying to balance the number of men and women staff, when they call a job, or when they call, an application. So yeah, so they trying to balance it. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. It's good to hear. So the next topic that I want to touch on is, of course, on your photojournalism. And as we know, as a famous phrase says, a picture is worth a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when I was looking through your Instagram, I feel like your Instagram portfolio is the example of that quote, because you don't use a lot of words to describe your pictures, but instead you let them speak themselves. So could you explain how you capture moments that you believe will deeply convey 1,000 words?
Yeah, for example, when I take photos of the coup, and I I mean the information is on that, one photo. I don't need to explain, and I don't need to explain so much, so yeah, it kind of like that.
How do you know that these moments are going to be, I guess, these moments are going to be important to take pictures of, or like how do you judge that this picture is going to speak a lot of words to whoever sees the pictures?
Yeah. So for example, like the coup that I take photos and a lot of protests, crackdown, and that kind of thing. And at the time, I know that the coup and these photos can be happen again. So I try to alert my photojournalist in my own mind, and I try to take a lot of photos. Yeah.
Uh, and there is this one picture that I want to talk about, and it is related to the coup as well. So the picture that you took on February 1st, it was a picture of, I believe, a truck, a military truck.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, do you remember that?
yeah. I recall that. Yeah.
Yeah, so can you recall that experience with that picture?
So in when the coup happened in February 1st, I was at Nay Pyi Daw to take the photo of the uh, photo of the new parliament. That will happen on the February 1st, but it didn't happen, and the coup happened, then and then that photo was in Nay Pyi Daw, and because when the coup happened on February 1st, a lot of things changed. Like even the atmosphere is changed in Libido because everything is so quiet, and we can't connect with anybody, except that we are expat journalists that were staying with us in the hotel. So, and the news can't happen at the internet connection, and everything went down. So the time I was really freaked out, frankly. And then but and then I remember that I'm a photojournalist, and I have to take photographs of what will happen next. And me and a journalist, we go through the new people, and I saw that a lot of changes, like like um, like a lot of soldiers and tanks around Naypyidaw, that they're trying to like show the coup is already happened. And there are a lot of soldiers and police everywhere in Naypyidaw, and especially a lot of it around the CPN data, which is parliament members, and which is parliament members stay. So yeah.
Got it. Yeah. And that was a really shock moment for everyone because, February 1st, majority of the Myanmar population was sound asleep when the military staged a coup. And then many of them found out about it in the morning when they wake up. So, and the internet were cut off. So just like you mentioned, it was really hard to communicate, and it's really hard to to know what's real and what's not. And as a photojournalist, that's, like you mentioned, your job to spread the news. So when, during these coups, you have taken a lot of pictures and a lot of moments. So I want to, dive into that a little bit and ask you about, the techniques that you use and your experience during the coup as a photojournalist, because when the coup started and then when the protests happened, things escalated really quickly, and even the media people were not safe anymore. So could you, recall the experience of you being in the protests, and maybe even in like the battlefield, I guess, and just try to take these pictures? How was it for you?
Um. frankly, it was really scary and really difficult because because I mean that's how I really like my job as a photojournalist. It really excites me, that kind of adrenaline. So in the protest, I was like, I really take photos of from the February 1st, and I didn't even have a rest day, during the coup happened. So every day I go out and take protests and crackdowns, and when I what I do is that when I was at the protest, um, I usually look around a lot of people, because there are like thousands and hundreds of people. So first of all, I usually find an exit, when the crackdown happened, when the police ran to us, where I want, where I should run, escape, like that kind of way. I think before I take photos of the protest, I always think like that. I always think the exit, and then I take photos, and usually after 25th or February, the police try to crack down the the protests. So on the 25th of February, things are really 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 different, because before 25th, there were only protests, and no crackdown. I mean there were a lot of police and soldier, but they didn't do anything to us. But after that, it really changed completely. It's kind of like a battlefield. They use us, rubber bullet, and then live round bullet. So yeah, what I want to do is that I try to escape, and then because I think my job is like three or four at the same time. Because as the protester, they just need they protest, and then when the crackdown happened, they ran. But for me, I have to take photos of why when they ran. I always behind them. I am like really near to the police when they ran really fast speed. So yeah, I try to alert my mind, every time the coup happened. And there was the moment that the police try, even he is like really near me, and he trying to grab my cameras and my shirt. And but luckily I ran really fast. So yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, luckily I escaped it. Yeah.
All right. And a really famous photo of you is when you're, for the listeners to describe she is sitting down against a wall, and she's looking at her camera and looking through the pictures, and she knows that it is dangerous, and it is a very dangerous and hard job to do, but you still decided to do it. So do you remember the picture that I'm talking about?
Yeah. Is that the animation that Myanmar, that one of the Myanmar artists draw me? Is it is it my is it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an animation of it, or like a picture of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah. That photo when I was in Daya. Yeah, it was March 14th, the unforgettable day of my life.
Wow. Would
Yeah.
you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, because that is professionally, it was really lucky day, I think, because on March 14, the military and the soldier, they killed a lot of people, hundreds of people in Nai Daya protest. So professionally, at that time, I was in Nai Daya to take the protest of the Nai Daya protest. I was there like 5 a.m. in the morning, and I can't even get out. The end of the day, so professionally it is lucky, but personally it's really unlucky for me, because I've seen a lot of people injured, and um, a lot of a lot of things. And then after that, I had it's really hard to cope the situation, and the mental breakdown after that. So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. So at that photo is that after the coup, after the crackdown in Langtaya finished, when they first um, crack down the protest, and we have to hide, in a lot of different places. And I can't let, the even I can't let the owner of the houses that I hide, because I can trust these people. And frankly, I don't even know the neighborhood, the areas of the Aindaya before that day, because yeah. And that photo is, I was hiding on the balcony, on the highest floor of the Aindaya, because I wanna see the aerial view, when the police and the military cracked down, and there were no people on the street, and I want to know what's happening. And I hear a lot of gunshots everywhere, like continuously, and I saw a lot of smokes around Langtaya. So that kind of is like, when the one Langtaya protest is about, they put a sign in front of their protest, like when the Langtaya when a Langtaya people have a blood, and the Chinese factory will be, on spot. So it's kind of like, they really do what they say. So yeah.
Right. And that's a really hard situation to cope, physically, mentally, financially, in every aspect. And you also mentioned that mental breakdown and all these these struggles that you had to go through. So during the coup, how were you able to cope with these struggles?
Um, frankly, before March 14, I can cope. I can cope a lot of things with my mentally and the physically strong. But after what I experienced in Naitaya, it is completely changed, because I can't sleep like straight 2 months. I can't sleep at night, and whenever I fall asleep, I usually I usually wake up with some nightmares, and I was really afraid and felt really unsafe, even in my home. So yeah, it was really hard. And after that after that but even when I was, can't sleep, really struggle with sleep at night, I take photos, every day, and then I can sleep, and I try to, do everything like meditation and a lot of things. But then And at the end, I had to, consult with a psychologist, and and a lot of counseling and a lot of medications, and yeah. But now I'm really getting better. Yeah.
Right. It's good that you can have help, for physical, for mental, to have help during a really crazy event is just really good for you. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you were able to make it through all the struggles and through all the killings and all the atrocities that happened during the coup. And I also want to touch on what happened after. Well, not after the coup, but during the coup. Because you're a photojournalist, you were chased by the military or
Yeah.
some sort of like that. So I don't want to get into detail if you're not comfortable, but if you're comfortable, do you want to explain us how that went down and how did you have to escape to Thailand?
Yeah. Yeah. When the coup happened, a lot of media, a lot of people were in really hard shape. But but as I'm a photojournalist, it is really hard for me, because I have like a lot of pressure, everything, around me, because my family told me that I shouldn't take photos and just come back home. And my dad, called a couple of times a day and check if I'm okay and where I am, and what I'm doing. And then my mom's and my dad, he always tell me that every phone call, please don't take photos anymore, it's really dangerous for you. Sorry. It's okay. So so my parents, they didn't really want me to take photos, and want me to continue my job. But on the other hand, I wanted to cover the histories of Myanmar, because the coup will be the biggest news that I cover in my photojournalism life, like 7 years. And and the coup happened. So I think at the time, I think professionally, like, this is a great opportunity that I have. I can contribute to a lot of international news and international agency. So at the time, I usually I even fight with my parents, and but in the end, they support me. Like, they told me, like, to take care of myself in the protest and not to get arrested. And also for me, I'm a girl photojournalist. So every time when I go to the protest, and I was like really 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 noticeable, because a lot of I mean, I think there is like 3 or 4 photojournalists, girl photojournalists in Myanmar. in Myanmar during the coup. But after the police crackdown and everything really happened violently, I think it is the only one that only me still taking photos. So I was really noticeable and bold, during the crowd, and yeah, so like that. And the police really, they even show photos of me, and of my name in my neighborhood. I used to stay in Sanchao when the coup happened, but my landlord, and even my friends, they don't really, they know the because I share a flat with two of my friends, and after that happened, I think they are not really um they're not really comfortable with staying with me. So I have to, I have to um I have to move a lot of places. And there is one day that in Sanchao, um the police and the people, so there is one day that in Sanchao there is a young man, a young man grab a gun from the soldier. Do you know that? Do you know that kind of that day? Because that day was happened near my house. So at the evening, the police trying to search the gun, and I don't know if they are really searching for the gun, but my but a family lived downstairs of my building, so they told me that the police and the and the and the soldiers, they knocked really hard my doors, and and uh, it's really lucky, because at that time I was on my way back home to to home. So and one of my friends lived in the same road, near me, called me that there were a lot of soldiers and police, at my place. So and then she sent me a photos of it, and I was really freaked out, because I was like really, really worried about what I left in the home, and what if they break down my house, and but luckily they didn't do it, and after they knocked like 30 minutes, and then they go back. Yeah. So that is like really, really, really close. And then I moved to another place, and when I moved to another place, I always think about the escape plan. I even try, with ropes, and with the climbing ropes, because I usually do rock climbing. So I set my room with a lot of ropes, and when it is really happen, I have to escape it, at all costs. So yeah. Yeah. And I have like a couple of times, but luckily, and then and then and then I think in September, I last year, I think about escaping Myanmar, because I have sleepless nights and really mental breakdowns, and I can't even look back, my photos that I that I took during the coup, because it's kind of like really terrifying moments. So so for the time being, I can look back. I can look back my photos, and in September last year, I decided to escape Myanmar. But the time I think about going, without a passport and cross the border. I think about it, but but I have a lot of things want to do when I move outside of the when I escape Myanmar. I want to go travel a lot of countries. So I take a risk, and I I flew from the airport and to Thailand. So in the airport, it is like really exciting moment. My knees are really shaking, and when the one in the immigration counter before I waited at the boarding gate. We have to cross the immigration counter, and at that time the police and the officer from the immigration counter, he checked my passport like 5 or 10 minutes. I have to wait and at that time I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be arrested, and that kind of thoughts inside me. And even when I am waiting in the boarding gate, I can sit, really peacefully. I went to toilet like 3 or 4 times before I go to I reach to the flight, in the flight. So yeah, that's how I escape it. It's really nerve wracking. Yeah.
Wow, that was really, really scary to listen to because every time you mentioned that the police were searching your flat or like the police were coming, even though I know that you're safe right now and you're talking to me, even then I'm like, oh my god, is she gonna get arrested or not? It's just going through my head, and I cannot imagine how hard it was for you to do all of these things while at the same time you still want to take pictures and photograph these moments and these histories so that the world can see what is happening in Myanmar. And I guess one thing that is really I guess annoy me a little bit is how there is so little coverage about the coup on the international news. And, it was a hot topic when the coup first happened. And then after a while, it kind of just died out. And now not a lot of foreign countries and not a lot of people really care about what's happening in Myanmar anymore. So why do you think that there's, so little coverage about Myanmar?
I think now, starting from 2023, after 1 year anniversaries of coup, a lot of journalists and the photojournalists are not in Myanmar anymore, and the police and the military really take down the journalists, and they really seize the journalist and the photographer, and even they killed. So so it's like so it's like um you know a lot of people uh really really afraid to do the journalism and the journalist, and to take photos. It's kind of really hard for them, and still, um, yeah, I know that I kind of noticed that on Facebook, on Twitter, there are like a lot of a lot of things are happening, but the international news, and they are not trying to cover about Myanmar coup anymore. Yeah.
Right. And the military is doing everything in their own authority, in their own power to crack down on these photojournalists and journalists who are reporting accurate story. And I learned about a lot of journalists who are being detained, who are being arrested, and they don't even get to go through trials. They're just given sentences left and right, and with terrible situations in the cells, in the jail cells. And seeing these and hearing these news, I wonder how the future of journalism in Myanmar is gonna go. So as a photojournalist yourself, do you think you can shed some lights on that?
Yeah, I think the media, and the military also close the to shut down the media, like DVB and other media. But they were still being doing the media company, they will be still, but I think it's gonna be really hard to get information outside of Myanmar, because now in Myanmar the internet connection, and the internet connection, and a lot of things are really really happening in Myanmar, and on top of that, the the resources, I mean what I mean is the if something happen, or can I say, um, if something happened in Myanmar, in Sakai region or in Karen region, I mean we outside of Myanmar people, we usually know when the DVB, or when the Kitty or other media company mention it. If not, we can know, because it's really hard, hard to explain it.
Yeah, I guess the only reliable source now is just a few couple of news agencies, like you mentioned, Kitty, and then DVP that you mentioned, right? So it's really getting harder to get accurate news from Myanmar, inside Myanmar.
Yeah, yeah, and also for the lack of the photojournalist and videographer in Myanmar, we can, and the quality of the video and the photos are really low, but still we got some of the great photos, but we can, the professional one can go inside, and so yeah, it's kind of really really hard and sad that I that can take photos and video. Yeah.
Right. That actually explains a lot about why there's so little coverage about the coup in Myanmar. And I deeply, from my heart, I hope that one day we'll be able to show the world what's happening, and get freedom from the military. But it will be a long way to get there, without the transparency, without the few journalists that's left who are working really hard. So, in your own opinion, of course, how long do you think this coup is going to last? And, what can we do to accelerate the revolutionary processes?
I don't really have that kind of political comment on that, but it would be really really great that from the how do you say, yeah, I think that, I mean, the coup will be happening, in the coup will be happening a lot of years, but now is that it's kind of know that because we have like a lot of people, different forces in every area, and I think it will be great if they if they um and I say um sorry, I don't really know how to answer it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I guess now I want to focus on your life in Thailand. So after escaping to Thailand, I know you face a lot of hardships, and on your Instagram you said that you were working on a document for the Myanmar refugees who lost their homes and had to escape to Thailand and had to live on the Myanmar-Thai border. But it's getting harder for you to continue because of for various reasons. So if you're comfortable, can you share us your experience right now in Thailand?
Yeah. After I escaped Myanmar, and I tried, I for the time being I can do any job, like for 5 months. I can do anything because I have to take care of my mental problems, and I have to get a lot of counseling, and I have to heal a lot so that I can do more after I healing. So I mean, so now that I last month I started my work. I mean, I resumed my work in the Thai border, and I met a lot of people. I met a lot of refugees people, a lot of people who works for NUT, and so many people. I met them and I talked to them. Their their life is their life is even way worse than me. They don't have a home, and they don't have any document to live in Thailand, and it's really hard that it's really hard, and now that I become a freelancer, and how can I say, um, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to continue my job because I'm a photographer, and outside of Myanmar, I can really take photos of what happened in Sakai region or like terrain, or so yeah, it's kind of hard, but I think I did my best, from the Thai border. I try to speak a lot of people, and I try to do photo stories about them, and yeah.
Right, and you mentioned that you've been doing a lot of photo stories on your Instagram. So do you have any like favorite photo stories that you've done?
Yeah, I because I enjoy my job a lot, so I have a lot of a lot of photo story, a lot of favorite photo story. So I can really tell which one is that. The one is that the I didn't even post on Instagram, and it's just kind of like a portrait series of Myanmar female protester, and female things that I done it. Yeah, yeah, because during when the coup happened, I usually take photo for my for my news agency that I contribute. And then after that, I usually take photos of female protester and you know female you know yeah yeah female protester, yeah, most of them. I usually take photos of their portraits and their action. And yeah, yeah, that kind of one is my favorite story.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that also leads to, I guess my next question. Uh, and we talked about how discrimination runs really deep in Myanmar society and in the photojournalism field, and in many other fields. And it's quite stunning to see, that discriminations against women still exist, uh, even during the revolutionary efforts. However, the encouraging thing is that we are seeing a newfound feminist ferocity since the coup began. Uh, in fact, women are the frontier of the revolutionary efforts, whether it be Ethan Zamao, who is one of the leaders who led the anti-coup protest in Yangon, or Denza Shunlei, who is one of the leaders of the anti-coup protests, which took root across the country. So seeing these news, seeing a lot of women leaders coming out from this coup, how emotional it is for you to know that women are leading the Spring Revolution, when everyone around you makes you feel like, oh, you're not as strong as men, or you're very more vulnerable compared to men. How emotional it is for you.
Yeah, that's I think that's how we prove it. For the time being, we usually have emotional, and but when it comes to the consistency, and and a lot of works, it's the same with when a man contribute works, and yeah, it's like that.
Right. It's we're getting there. The unfortunate thing is that we need like event like this to happen so that women can prove that they can do just as much or even better than men. And I hope that this coup can be an example for all the people in Myanmar to remember that you know discrimination is it must be left in the history, and now we should look forward and knowingly accept women as equally as men and have equity in the society. But yeah, nevertheless, it's really nice to know that a lot of women leaders are coming out, and just like you, who are also part of this women leaders who has done a lot to spread the news of the coup. And from doing so, you have received a lot of awards. So would you like to share those awards with us?
Yeah, yeah. The last. Well, I didn't get like so many benefits from the coup, really, but the last thing is that with the when I was working for the frontier, we usually we usually compete. Can I say compete in super award and for the 2021 we got the Frontier Photographers Award. In Frontier we have like four photographers. So yeah, it's kind of great that we received that award. Yeah, with
That's
our
great.
with our cook photos.
Wow, that's amazing. And you also had a lot of photo exhibition projects that you worked on. So are they mainly about the picture of the coup, or
Yeah, yeah, it's mainly about the cook and yeah. Yeah, because when the coup happened, the international, media and the other galleries in in Korea or in France, they curate a lot of my photos, and they exhibit it in their galleries. I think it's really it's another way of showing and spreading the news for Myanmar. Yeah.
right? And it's I was kind of sad to know that you were working on the exhibition, well, not exhibition, but the documentary for the Myanmar refugees in Myanmar Thai border. But for some reasons you couldn't continue doing that anymore. However, I really want to know, I guess, and also spread the awareness what's happening at the border. That you touch on it a little bit, but I really want to know how bad the situation there is, because I know a lot of my ethnic people are there. I am a Korean, so there are a lot of Korean there, and they've been there since long before the coup, since the the civil war started, and they've been escaping there. And sometimes the Thailand government even had to like close the border so that there's no population, I guess, surplus or population overpopulation in the camps. So yeah, since you have experience being there, and you have seen them in person, I was wondering if you can go a little deeper into it and share spirit to the world, that the listeners that are listening right now.
Yeah, but when I go to Mesa, what I was doing is that I didn't have a chance to go in the refugee camps in the border, but I had like a so about my latest story is about a house. It's about a house that fills with who lost their home. There are like 21 people in that house, and that house, all 21 people, they don't have any document or anything, because they have to left Myanmar. You know for their safety. They're like in there is like 3 or 4 CDM teachers, and PDF, sorry, the current PDF people, and some people, they are like go in to Myanmar and then go back to Thailand, and they don't even go go to outside. They just stay in that one big compound of that house, in May South, and I try to talk to them, but mostly they at first they don't really comfortable talking their story to me because they're really afraid of getting arrested, and they really worry about the family members that left in Myanmar. So most of them they don't talk it, and for the time being, I have to earn their trust. You know, I have to earn their trust, and I have to go there like a couple of times when I was in the South, and 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 after that, after I share my stories, and after that they told me their stories, and which is really just really sad story. They can do any jobs in Myanmar, and then when they cross the border in Thailand, they can even go outside, and yeah, it's really hard for them. That's why I decided that story will be a long time. I wanted to keep as an archive, and for their security, and yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the most
because in
important thing.
Mesa there are like a lot of people who are not in refugee camps. They with the help of the other organization, and
Got it. Yeah. Um, yeah, thank you so much for, sharing all these important information with us, especially what you had to go through during the coup. It was really saddening, and it was really hard to listen to because as a Burmese person who is currently living overseas, also still have a lot of friends and family in Burma who are still, you know, going through the hardships, and who are, running away, and who are constantly has to be on their foot so that they don't get arrested. So I'm glad that you were able to escape, and you were able to, you know, to stand on your own, and try your best to be positive, and to share these news, and spread these awareness. With that, I would like to request you if you can give some encouragement to the people, especially women in photojournalism.
yeah. I just want to say that, if you are really really interested in photography, whether don't think about your gender, whether you're a woman, gay, or man. It's okay. Just have to follow your dreams. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And is there anyone that you want to shout out from the journalism field?
Yeah, yeah, that's someone, yeah, that is my friend. He has been arrested on Silent Day in Myanmar. I didn't I didn't heard any news of him, and yeah, I want to shout out for him. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if you can share his name, or do we have to?
Um, I think I think it's better if we don't share his name, because I didn't get any news or anything when after he arrested from that day, and his fellow photographer who got killed in that in the cell. So yeah.
All right, I understand. Yeah, I am praying, and I hope that your friends will be able to see you again, and will be able to visit Burma again, and just not think about all the atrocities that's happening. And I hope that we're getting closer to that day.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah,
I really hope that I can go back to my country, and
yeah. I wasn't gonna ask you this because this is a very, I guess, sensitive topic, but if you're comfortable sharing, do you still have connection with your parents or your family or your colleagues?
yeah. I still have a connection with my colleagues and my family. Yeah, in Myanmar. Yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last question I guess I have for you is, how can the listeners connect with you or check out the photo series that you've done?
Yeah, I think listeners can watch my Instagram, because that is the only platform that I upload my photos, because on Facebook I don't really upload on anything for my security. So yeah, in Instagram I try to upload a lot of photos. Yeah.
Awesome. And any last words for the audience?
It's okay. I think they will know what they wanna listen. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Well, Nyein, thank you very much for being vulnerable and sharing your story. That was really, really touching and really scary. And I hope that the listeners can able to grasp how crazy it is in Myanmar right now, and what it means to be a photojournalist, and what it means to be a photojournalist during the coup. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. I'm happy to share my experiences. Yeah. And thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this show. I realize that this is an enormously difficult time for many people who love Myanmar these days, myself included. And at times we might despair that there's anything at all we can do to stop the horrors unfolding there. However, just the mere fact of staying informed is helping to bear continued witness and keep a focus on this issue when much of the international media has moved on. And the only way that we can do our part in continuing to provide this content is through the support of generous donors, listeners like yourselves. If you found this episode of value and would like to see more shows like it, please consider making a donation to support our efforts. Both monthly pledges or one-time donations are equally appreciated. Thank you deeply in advance. If you would like to join in our mission to support those in Myanmar who are being impacted by the military coup, we welcome your contribution in any form, currency, or transfer method. Your donation will go to support a wide range of humanitarian missions, aiding those local communities who need it most. Donations are directed to such causes as the Civil Disobedience Movement, CDM, families of deceased victims, internally displaced person, IDP camps, food for impoverished communities, military defection campaigns, undercover journalists, monasteries and nunneries, education initiatives, the purchasing of protective equipment and medical supplies, COVID relief, and much more. We also make sure that our donation fund supports a diverse range of religious and ethnic groups across the country. We invite you to visit our website to learn more about past projects as well as upcoming needs. You can give a general donation or earmark your contribution for a specific activity or project you would like to support. Perhaps even something you heard about in this very episode. All of this humanitarian aid work is carried out by our nonprofit mission, Better Burma. Any donation you give on our Insight Myanmar website is directed towards this fund. Alternatively, you can also visit the Better Burma website, betterburma.org. That's BETTERBURMA.org, and donate directly there. In either case, your donation goes to the same cause, and both websites accept credit cards. You can also give via PayPal by going to paypal.me/betterburma. Additionally, we take donations through Patreon, Venmo, GoFundMe, and Cash App. Simply search Better Burma on each platform and you'll find our account. You can also visit either the Insight Myanmar or Better Burma websites for specific links to those respective accounts, or email us at info@betterburma.org. If you'd like to give it another way, please contact us. Thank you so much for your kind consideration and support.